What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Black Cat Panther podcast, man. It's your boy in here, solo dolo tonight. Your boy Dub Q coming to talk to everybody. Y'all already see what time it is. The Carolina Panthers added a lot of weapons today. We brought in a lot of guys that could really bolster up this offense, this team, this defense, all the way around. Look, I'm excited to get into it as I do. Shout out to everybody, man. 8704, what's happening with you? C, what's going on with you? Jeremy McKinney, what's happening? Look, the number one thing is the Carolina Panthers brought in some star power today and added this to the roster. I'm so excited to talk about some of the new additions that we had. We're going to also get into a list of the undrafted guys that we got here in the building. But before we do anything else, make sure y'all do us a favor. Comment, like, subscribe. Y'all already see what time it is. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it as we do. First and foremost, share my screen on this one right here. Carolina Panthers go out, make some big splash additions today, and yeah, number one, we brought in Xavier Legette, which is one of the guys that the Carolina Panthers wanted to add into this receiving corps, which was the day one guy that they wanted. Number two, we had a guy that the Carolina Panthers was really excited to bring this guy in, the running back, Jonathan Brooks from Texas. Now, I can't tell you how excited I am to have this guy in the building, but I'm going to tell you like this right here. Make no mistake about it. Jonathan Brooks is a shift of power, I can say, for the Carolina Panthers. Also, third round, we go and we get Trevin Wallace, linebacker from Kentucky. Yes. What's going on, Chris? How you doing? Talking about long days. Oh yeah, I'm so excited about this team and the new pieces that we got in the building, man. Look, I got a little bit of hope. I got a little bit of inspiration. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So we're gonna talk about it today. Um, in the fourth round, we got Jatavion Sanders, another guy that I thought was a undoubtedly, I'm talking about knock out of the park, straight dog. And I can't express how excited I am to see Jonathan Brooks and Jatavion Sanders both on this team. Like those two are my top. Like one is a superstar and one is a star. Uh, and I can't wait to see them come out this season and really get a lot of yardage together because you bring these two guys from over there in Texas where they got to it as they did, and you bring them over here to Carolina together, a match made in heaven. I can't wait to see it. Fifth round, we go and we get Shaw Smith Wade, cornerback from Washington State. Look, I love it. I didn't at first understand the trade that we made with the Jets to make this happen, but it ended up turning out being a good, actual, really good pickup. Shaw Smith Wade is a guy that you can come and put him in the rotation, and right now he can give you a very serviceable start, very serviceable minutes. This is a guy that could come in and really be a great rotational piece for your team right now between Troy Hill, Dane Jackson, as well as your boy J.C. Horn. It's a great guy to have on the team, and he gives you great depth right here. I think we got a couple of steals in this draft. Sixth round, we went and got Jaden Crumley, defensive tackle, nose tackle from Mississippi State. I know my guy Gold is always telling us about getting the nose tackles in the building. You got a run stopper in Jaden Crumley. Seventh round, we went and got from Michigan, Michael Barrett. Everybody knows that Michael Barrett is a really good linebacker. He helped those guys get to the championship over there, and that's what it's all about. It's about being and instilling a winning culture, championship culture, DNA that you need to go forward here in the Carolina Panthers locker room. That's something we haven't had in a while. So you get some guys, there's some steals here. Now here's where it goes a little crazy. The Carolina Panthers brought in as an undrafted per a league source, and this is through the Charlotte Observer, excuse me, Virginia State cornerback Willie Drew. Now Willie Drew, pretty good Virginia State cornerback. I took the liberty of looking this guy up. Like I said, Willie Drew, Virginia State. He is 6 foot, 185 pounds. Like I said, graduate student that came over there. This guy, he's very good at man coverage. So we got another guy that can come in and really be physical. We're gonna see if he makes the team. Because the rotation at corner is very heavy, and it's really nice to see some of these guys they got in. They got 4 guys right now on the undrafted list right now as it sorts out. So we're gonna see if some of these guys make the roster as we get forward to get ready for camp. Um, then we brought in Louisville quarterback Jake Plummer. If anybody familiar with Louisville, Jake Plummer, serviceable guy. Um, and everybody know his father, Jake Plummer, the like I said, former NFL quarterback himself. But yeah, got him in on the undrafted list. Then we got Coastal Carolina's Sam Pinkney. This is through Jeremy Fowler, which is the source on that one. We brought in wide receiver from Coastal, Sam Pinkney, which is another local product, a local guy right here from Coastal. And I'm telling you right now, uh, it's a good pickup, but it's more than likely a special teams move with him. So it's interesting to see which direction they go. I'm gonna keep y'all, I'm gonna keep y'all updated on the push that we see from this guy. HHENT said Jake Plummer isn't good and won't push Bryce. He's a camp body. Yeah, yeah, we know. They wanted to get another quarterback in here, so I'm pretty sure nobody saw Jake Plummer coming. Nobody saw him coming from Louisville coming to challenge Bryce for anything. Nobody saw that. I didn't have any doubt in my mind when I saw him. I knew he was going to be a camp body. So I'm just being real with you guys as we come on in here. A lot of these guys in here are going to be what ifs. What if everything works out for them? What can they be? Now this is the interesting one. Everybody seems to know this guy from Holy Cross. Even Steve Smith did a video on him talking about he was the best route runner in the entire draft, and that's Jalen Coker. And this is via Tom Pelissero. Tom Pelissero said that this guy has done a free agency agreement with us, with the Carolina Panthers, and so we shall see the wide receiver coming from Holy Cross. What could he be? Because when we saw him last, he was elusive. Jalen Coker is a guy that could come out here, field punts, do special teams, and potentially fight his way on the roster. So I'm not mad at them picking up Jalen Coker because it's going to be a position in need for the wide receiver room. You always want guys that can come out here, run routes, can get open. Like I said, Jalen Coker for the season. I mean, think about it. He's 6'3", 213 pounds. He gave you 1,000 yards with 15 touchdowns. So he's a decent wide receiver. He didn't go drafted. So we're just gonna keep our eyes on him to see how well he does. Um, I think, and our young fella Jalen told us, hey, keep your eyes out for him. We should, take our time and pick him up. He's a guy that's been consistent. He had 11 touchdowns last year, 914 yards. This year, 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns. So, like I say, this is one that we shall have to see. He's a great route runner, but the level of talent at Holy Cross is not, anything dominant coming from their division over there. And I hate to say it, but the Patriot standards is not it. Because they over there they got what, Lafayette, Georgetown, Fordham, a couple of handful of colleges, small colleges. So the level of playing talent, the level of competition is different. But shout out to Jalen Coker. I'm really rooting for him. I hope that he can fight his way into a spot here on the Carolina Panthers. That'll be good to see. So those are your list of your undrafteds. Once again, that's cornerback Willie Drew. Like I said, the source for that one is the Charlotte Observer. Quarterback Jake Plummer. Tom Pelissero from the media dropped that one. Coastal Carolina, wide receiver Sam Pinkney. Jeremy Fowler gave us that one, as well as Jalen Coker. So, with the names knowing now for what we have so far for the undrafted, what we done in the draft, let's talk about this potential roster and let's talk about how did we get better. And I'm gonna be real with you. The Carolina Panthers went out. They sought offense. They sought firepower. Dan Morgan in his first draft. He had some ups and downs. He made some questionable calls, some interesting trades, but in the end, I'm a tough critic on Dan Morgan. I'm probably one of the toughest critics that there is out there when it comes to him. Um, and he really went out and seek some star power. Like I can't be mad at the picking of Xavier Leggett. You get a wide receiver that can come out here be your number one. Um, Now hear me clearly. I'm not upset at all about Xavier Leggett. And you won't hear me speak on being upset about him. Xavier Leggett, a new look offense with him and Adam Thielen as your one and your two. Well, probably him and Deontay Johnson as your one and your two. Adam Thielen in the slot. That's already a good start off right there. And potentially, like I said, having a guy like Mango, potentially maybe this guy from Holy Cross that's potentially looking. He's a great route runner. He may make the team. Uh, Having a new look offense in the wide receiver room, I think this wide receiver room has been definitely bolstered up a lot. You're looking at a lot of talent here. We was dead last year in the wide receiving corps, and I would say probably now after adding Xavier Leggett and Deontay Johnson to what we had with 1,000-yard receiver in Adam Thielen, you should be about middle of the pack now. I love exactly what we have done, and that's no excuses in the wide receiver room anymore. It was lackadaisical last year. We addressed that. Now move forward to the tight end room. Number one, Jatavion Sanders, day one, is the best tight end on your roster right now. Make no mistake about it. Jatavion Sanders is the guy walking through the door. There is not a talent on our roster better than him right now. For a guy that had close to 700 yards, 7 touchdowns, he was a star in Houston. Not Houston, but Texas Longhorns. He's a star over there. He will forever be a star because he's so fast. Like I said, 6'4", 6'5" ish. The guy has speed like a receiver. You watch some of the catches he made, one arm catches. He knows how to toe the line inside and outside of the numbers. A smart guy that can get behind coverage. You talk about his footwork for a big guy. You talk about his blocking ability. He helps in the run game. He really helps Brooks a whole lot. I'm loving the fact that we went out and we got dogs. Now, like I said, I'm one of the toughest guys on Dan Morgan, but he did a good job of getting talent in the door today. Yesterday, today, since the beginning of the draft, he's done an exceptional job. Um, like I said, we got Jatavion Sanders coming in through the door now. And then you look at this running back room where we needed it the most. Chuba Hubbard was very underwhelming last year. And when I say underwhelming, he was barely giving you 4 yards a carry. So if you got a running back that's I think he was at 3.8 yards a carry, terrible. Now you get a guy that's getting close to 6 yards a carry. And that's going to change the dynamics of your offense right there. You talking about moving the chains. You talking about having the chains steady moving from first down to second down. You're going to have a lot of second and short. You're going to have a lot of third and short. Where we were last in the league, every time you look, we were second and 10, third and 10, third and 8, third and 9. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about that this year. Hopefully, if everything goes well. So that's the hope. That everything goes well as it's supposed to. So I'm gonna tell you like this right here. The trajectory for this team with a offensive line that's been improved on the right side, like I said, you look at right tackle Taylor Moton. You look at our right guard, and you say to this team right here, those two positions right there are solid. Now, center is a little bit shaky with Austin Corbett, but we're going to trust and hope that he's able to stay healthy the entire season. With that being said, I thought that we should have addressed the center position. Dan Morgan speaks about it in his video that he did post-draft, and he talked about, the decision of not getting a center in this draft. Okay, they got a lot of faith riding on Austin Corbett, and I'm guessing, like I said, they can really trust a guy like Cade Mays to potentially come in and be able to be a stopgap guy if something was to go down. Or you also got Chandler Zavala or Brady Christensen. You got a bevy of guys that you can rotate around to try to fill that position if something goes down. But I still look potentially throw in there. I'm telling you, I'm looking at this team and with Lewis over there at left guard, you got Ike Ekwonu. This is an upgraded line. So offensive line is solidified. You got a bona fide X receiver. You got a bona fide Y. So you got a number one and a number two receiver. You now have a bona fide running back, even though he's coming off of an ACL. He will be ready and healthy by the time his camp comes. That was told to us today. He will be ready by the time his camp comes. So with that being said, you have a guy that I think hands down the best running back in the draft. It was between him, Cedric Benson, or maybe Braylon Allen. And I'm so lucky that the Carolina Panthers decided that Brooks was their guy because you get a guy that's dynamic. First of all, his burst, his ability, his his next step is his second step is just like next level. This guy can burst through the hole and really explode. And so that's what I love about Brooks. He has big playability. Anytime he touched the ball, he can particularly, has the chance to take it to the house. So that's what I really love about him. We went out and got a bona fide superstar at running back. The Falcons went and got Bijan Robinson last year from Texas, same school. And we came back this year and got this guy. Like I said, the guy who sat with Bijan Robinson. So it was a great addition. It was a great pickup. I love what they did right there. So as we gear up for camp, this offense has been revamped. And I think that if the quarterback comes in and stick to the guidelines of where we're sitting at, we have a chance to really turn things around and be competitive at least in games. Be competitive. That's all I'm speaking. Competitive. So it's one of those things where, you know, I see your red swarm. Dopey Nightlife TV. He says Summer Plumbers highlights look fire. Chris said, Q, what about Andrew Raynham, center from Oklahoma? We pick him up as an undrafted free agent. Okay, yeah, we still got some guys coming in. I'm thinking in that list right now, all I saw was 4 guys. So as it goes, like I said, they're going to expect to get a center in through the door. I mean, you have to. You got to have that backup. AJ Marshall, what's going on with you? Long time no see. I think Sanders going to start from day one. He's an upgrade over Ian Thomas. Look, he's the best in that room already. Patty Grimes, what's going on with you? This was for Bryce or whoever we get in the future. Flame for Jesus. I appreciate that. That's pretty much how I'm looking at it as well. Earl Locklear, what's going on with you? Red Swarm said, uh-oh, Q drinking the Kool-Aid sound like 10 wins in the NFC South. Nah, cuz nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that at all. Nah, but Red Swarm, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I've been so hard on these guys all year long, and it's because I demand excellence. I want excellence. I want the best players. Now, like I said, the way they went about getting some of these players, I didn't agree with, but I'm going to focus on how we got to this point. And so what I'm looking at is we got the guys in the building now. It's up to the quarterback to fine-tune this thing, be as efficient as he could, because the defense is always going to keep us competitive in the games. We don't have an elite defense. We have a good defense, a basic defense that's going to keep us close within games. But there is no superstar on this defense. Derek Brown is about as close as it gets to a bona fide star, but there is no guy on this defense that can, undoubtedly, when in doubt, you go to him as a supreme. We don't have no supreme pass rusher, but like I said, as a team collectively, this defense should be able to get the job done. I believe in Ajero Evero. He's a great coach. We got great pieces on this defense, but offensively was where we needed to really make the difference this year. And I really do believe after watching this, after taking my time and looking at this thing, offensively, we can come out and compete with a lot of people now. Now it's up to the quarterback to be able to come out and perform and execute. But barring anything else on paper, we upgraded today. We upgraded from Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard in the running back room. We upgraded from Ian Thomas and Tommy Trimble. All the guys that I think that were just basic, below average. We upgraded and got stars in those positions where it matters the most. So I can't wait. I'm gonna play a little bit of this video from Dan Morgan, um, talking about him picking some of these guys. I think it's very vital to sit down, do a little bit of seeing why he get in the mind of what he saw day three, and let's talk about a little bit of this, man. I like it. So y'all come on in, man. Like the video on your way in. We're gonna get into it as we do. Show that love on your way in.
Set, followed by David Newton.
Hello, guys. Dan, I got a question for you. In terms of needs, one of the things that a lot of people felt that was a big one for this team, considering the depth, was the center position. I'm curious, in terms of not making any picks today or the last couple of days at that position, where you see going forward with that spot.
Yeah, I think I said before, we feel really good about Austin Corbett there at center. I think he's progressing well, and I think Dave would say the same thing to you guys. I think him along with Brady Christensen, he's been getting some snaps at center. We feel like he has a lot of potential there as well. So we feel good about it, but we're always going to be looking to challenge our roster and get better and, create that competition. So we're not going to leave anything, we're not going to close the door on bringing somebody else in as well.
Hey, Dave, this is David Newton of ESPN. Dave, wanted to ask you, you talked before the draft about wanting to build a great team around Bryce, not necessarily just put great players around Bryce. Do you feel like this has been a good start to that with this draft, and anything you feel like you need to add?
Absolutely. I feel like we really took advantage of some of those spots to, bring a bunch of talent, into our roster, specifically talking about the offense, just looking positionally, with a running back, a receiver, and a tight end, skill wise, just really bringing a little bit of juice there to really challenge that whole group and elevate the offense. So I'm really excited about what we did there.
And have you talked to Bryce during this process, and how does he feel about what you've been doing?
Yeah, just short text back and forth. He's really excited about what we've done. From the responses that I got from him, he's very fired up about what we got put together.
Cool. And one question for Dan. Dan, with the last pick there, you picked an undersized linebacker. I'm curious if I know you were around Sam Mills. Did that cross through your mind as he shows some of those same traits? Is that?
I wouldn't say specifically that it was, Sam Mills. I think you just see a really good football player, really good instincts, really good nose for the ball. He's been productive. A guy that we thought highly of. Think he has a lot of potential, and we're excited about him.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep.
Now let's go to Joe Person, followed by Skylar Callahan.
Hey guys, Dan, you said yesterday, and you've said before, I think, that you never fill every position. You did get a corner today, but it looks like a lot of people view him as a nickel. Do you envision signing Steph Gilmore in the coming days or weeks?
Yeah. So first off, we're really excited about Shaw. Shaw is a guy that can play. He can play inside, he can play outside. So we like his versatility. He's good on special teams. I think he's a guy that can really contribute and make us better. I think obviously at every position we're going to look to improve, not just the corner position, but again, we're going to try to create depth and competition everywhere. And, as far as Stephon, we're not going to close the door on anything, and we'll continue to talk and explore and, see where that goes.
Also, when Scott was here, he used to talk about always, listening when people would call with trade offers or discussions. Will you keep an open ear, like where a guy like Miles Sanders is concerned after y'all drafted Jonathan Brooks?
No, I think it's more, we're always going to be, if you want to say in on every deal, and we're always going to keep our ear to the pavement, and just kind of be open to everything. In terms of Miles, we love Miles. We see a big role for him. I think Dave would tell you the same, that we think really highly of Miles. We love Miles. He can do a lot for our offense. He's versatile, in the pass game, and he's a really good runner. So we're excited about him as well.
Dan, obviously you've been in these war rooms before. Having gone through that process, did it feel like it was a smooth transition for you to actually sit in the GM chair? Was there any like unexpected things or things that you weren't maybe quite as prepared for and kind of figured that out in the moment? And then secondly, behind the scenes, how big of an impact did Brant Tillis have on some of the decisions that were made?
Yeah, I felt really good, and to your point with Brant Tillis and with Dave and just the team that I'm surrounded with. Obviously, I got to give them all the credit. You're only as strong as the people around you, is what I always feel, and to have Dave and to have Brant and Cole Spencer, Adrian Wilson, Jared Kirksey, and all the area scouts, and they've done a heck of a job, and I couldn't do it alone. So I really got to thank those guys.
With Brant specifically, though, what does he bring to the table? I know he's obviously done a lot with the cap and everything, but what kind of analysis does he bring during the draft?
He brings a lot to the table. He's brilliant, really smart guy, not only with the cap. He's just good, like being in the draft room, being able to bounce things off of him, being able to bounce things off of Dave, and just the group in general. I'm really happy with the group, and definitely blessed to be surrounded by a bunch of great people.
All right, let's go to Mike K.
Dan, how different was today compared to the previous 2 days where it felt like there was a lot of moving and shaking, and this one, it felt like you guys were a little bit more patient and just let the board come to you?
Yeah, I think, after those first, I would say 4 rounds, I think things start to get, maybe a little more fluid, and, got, what you're doing and your plans start to kind of, you're still trying to strategize and kind of figure things out. So, I think, just it's definitely different, in those later rounds. That's where the scouting really comes into play, and things become, a little tougher per se. So, again, you got to have good area scouts, people with a good eye for talent, and, definitely thankful that we have that.
With that said, as you guys go into undrafted free agency, and I know that's like 7 picks away, how are you guys planning to attack that? Is there a position that you felt like you just kind of missed out on with the way the board felt?
No, not really. I think that, in undrafted free agency, obviously we're going to count numbers, and we have specific numbers at each position that we're trying to get to fill out the 90-man roster. Right now, as we're speaking, the guys are back there. They're on the phone with agents, trying to recruit players, and just kind of fill the roster out. But we're just trying to fill the numbers out, but not just fill the numbers out, but fill the numbers out with a bunch of, great players and competitors, and, just the type of people that we want in our program.
I got time for a few more. Let's go back to David Newton and Joe Person.
Yeah, Dan, I wanted to ask you, you saw this roster a year ago, and I want to ask you compare it to them, but how much better do you feel like, or more complete do you feel like this roster is than what it was a year ago?
Definitely not going to get into comparisons. I think that we have to make this roster the best that we can for the team this year in 2024. That's our goal, is to take it day by day and just try to build it and make it the best that we can with what we have at store. And, me and Dave, we talk every day about the roster and which ways we can make it better. And, I think we're headed in a good direction.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Enjoy the concert.
Thanks.
And Dave, I wanted your take on the tight end Sanders, and then I had one more for Dan, please.
Yeah, versatility, right? You guys, I sound like a broken record, but it's really what we're looking for, for our system and the things that JT, as he goes by, the things that he showed on film, just being able to use him as a receiver, use him in the run game in creative ways. He's definitely not the traditional inline type of tight end. He's a guy that can do a lot of different things. He's made some dynamic plays with the ball in his hand, and he really strong at the catch. And that's probably one of the biggest things that we saw in him is just the contested catch part. He's got massive hands, and he really does attack the ball. Anymore in this league, tight ends to really get that separation and man-to-man, it's pretty hard. Most of them are around the same speed except for a few guys. So since they're going to be covered, the contested catch is big, and that's where he really separated himself from the rest of the guys. And we just saw a great opportunity. Had all night to sleep on it, woke up in the morning and talked through some stuff, and we're so excited to make that decision.
Thank you. And then Dan, free agency, you guys obviously made a big investment with the guards. Then we saw in the draft 3 skill position players for your offense and for Bryce. Was that the plan to take care of the line and then look at skill guys in the draft?
Yeah, I think you could say that was the plan. And I think it really, free agent wise, we looked at where we thought was strong in free agency and then where we thought it was going to be strong in the draft, and kind of come up with a plan of how we should attack it. And it just really came out that way to where we attacked the interior, the offensive line, got that right, and then we were, it left us with the flexibility to go into the draft and, draft a wideout, draft a tight end, and just some guys that we like that we can kind of surround Bryce with and make this team and this offense better.
Thank you.
All right, let's finish up with Deshaun Brown.
Good evening, Dan. A question for you. The social team has shared some video of you making some of the calls throughout the weekend. I'm curious, having been in their shoes, what was your experience being the one this time to make that call?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think you're calling these guys, and I remember getting a call from obviously the Carolina Panthers, and it's really a surreal moment. So to know what they're feeling on the other end, it definitely hits a little different. I know the excitement that these guys, they've been working their whole lives for this moment right here, and to be able to call and interact with them and hand the phone off to Mr. Tepper and then Dave and the position coach, it's a really cool feeling, and you're just really happy for the guys when you're able to do that.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So we got a great idea of hearing why they did some of the things that they did. It's also, like I said, great bringing in some of the guys that they did. I'm also going to share my screen. But first of all, like I said, shout out to everybody in the chat. It's 100 of you guys in here. I need all 100 of you guys to look down at the bottom of your screen and like the video. Please do that. That helps out with the algorithm. Also, while we're doing that, we're going to go through ESPN's breakdown of all the draft picks and where did they see those guys aligning. So it's pretty good to see how the rest of the league views us. You know what I'm saying? How the rest of the league saw us in our analysis, and to see if we were on par with some of the stuff the rest of the league saw. So this is per ESPN. Number one, and this is crazy because wide receiver Xavier Legette via the pick came via Buffalo. The take was Legette brings versatility. The Panthers fell in love with Leggett and his ability to make plays all over the field. From catching passes, from jet sweeps to kick returns, the versatility is a skill position, something that Bryce Young didn't have last season. Like I said, and I'm gonna paraphrase, he's 6'1", 220 pounds, run a 4.339, a 4.39. They asked, will he start as a rookie? They're expecting him to start along Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, uh, and like I said, he should get the starting nod over Jonathan Mingo. Next up is running back uh, Jonathan Brooks. And the take is they're excited about having him. Like I said before, I know instantly he's going to start over Chuba Hubbard because first of all, you do not take a running back in the second round and he not start. So I'm just make sure I put that out there. The number one thing, the guy had what 10 touchdowns, 1,100 yards last season, and he missed the last couple of games because of the ACL injury. He probably would have had more than that. So you can't be mad at that. We all know he's going to be a starter eventually at some point in time. Trevin Wallace. They said they were looking for a guy with the dog mentality. He got in, and the dog mentality means you don't care if you go and hurt somebody, Wallace says. You don't go in there soft. I want you to be scared of me. Wallace isn't necessarily a long-term replacement for Shaq Thompson, but his ability to cover the field side to side gives him the speed and the potential to do that. Give him a year behind Thompson and Josie Jewell, he could prove to be a steal. So y'all see what that is. He's probably like a year, maybe a year away, year and a half away. Next, we got Jatavion Sanders. And it say right here, first take. Definitely an upgrade at the position that the young quarterback could have used some help from. Canales spoke highly of Tommy Trimble, but he's not the dynamic pass-catching tight end that Sanders has become. Sanders had 99 receptions in 3 seasons, tops for a tight end in Texas history. He could pose problems for defenses like Greg Olsen did during the development time with Cam Newton. So this was a no-brainer. Look, there's no need to even ask if he's going to be a starter. We already know that. So, like I said, Shaw Smith-Wade, they said a definite need for depth at this position. Notice they use the word depth, which means he's not going to be a starter. He's going to be a rotational piece, as I said earlier. Then we got Jaden Crumdy. Now, this is a total depth move. His ability to push the pocket is what Carolina will look for him in a 3-4 scheme. He likely won't be a threat to start, but he has flexibility and size. 6'4", 301 pounds to play inside or out. Depth behind a starting solid 3 is key here. And Michael Barrett, at 5'11", 233 pounds, another guy from Michigan that has a nose for the football. So, like I said, it's great to see some of these guys that they got. I'm, like I said, excited about Panther football for number one. I'm excited about, coming out here. These guys going to have some pads on. Can't wait to get to camp to really get my eyes on. I'm going to get either my Brooks jersey or my Sanders jersey. And I'm going to tell y'all like this. Right here. I'm probably going to gift somebody, maybe I'm going to do it maybe next show after this. I'm going to gift somebody with a Jatavion Sanders jersey probably because I'm in the spirit of giving. So next Sunday, maybe next time we go live or something like that, I'm going to come up with something for the people. Probably some kind of Panther puzzle or some kind of Panther trivia or something like that I'm going to come up with. And I'm going to give away probably a Jatavion Sanders jersey. Because, like I said, I'm high on these Texas guys. They're coming in. Quinn Ewers did them boys good justice. So, make sure y'all keep your eyes and your ears out. I'm going to drop the link to the chat right now. If y'all want to come up, give y'all Steelos. It's going to be real quick tonight. It's not going to be nothing long. Give your opinion on how y'all feel about some of these pickups. Because at the end of the day, I think Dan Morgan, he's done a lot in the tenure he's been here, but he did good on this draft. I'll be the first one to come out and say it. When you got Jatavion Sanders and Brooks and Leggett could, I'm gonna talk slow with Leggett because I like Leggett. Leggett is from the same side of town that I'm from, and I'm rooting for the guy. So I want to give him that time. So that's we're gonna take our time. I'm gonna take my time with Leggett. I'm gonna ease into it. So hopefully Leggett can come out here, hit the ground running, and be one of those guys that's a positive find that we got in this draft. But my thoughts on him, he has all the intangibles. He has the gifts. He has the skill set to do it. It's going to be all on him to come out and produce. Um, Guy had 1,200 yards last season in college, so hopefully some of that will translate on over to the NFL. I want to make sure that we produce at least 3 guys that could be a breakout this year, and that's what I'm saying. I want Leggett, I want Sanders, and I want my man to break out Brooks. So that's all I'm saying. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Um, and what we gonna do here? Flame for you said Bryce should not be made to feel comfortable after the horrible season he had last year. Shout out to Blue Swarm. If Blue Swarm to do that else, he'll pop up. Just alone said, let me get that number 0. Don't make it too easy though. Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna put together some Panther trivia and we could do a little giveaway. Yes, sir. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So I'm gonna put this in a full perspective because I put a poll in the chat and I'm gonna check back to the poll right now. The poll to the chat was, do you guys believe who was the biggest pickup? Who's the best pickup for the Carolina Panthers this off season? And I'm looking at it right now. Everybody believed that the tight end Jatavion Sanders is the biggest pickup out of everybody. A guy that can stretch the field, a guy that can come out here, beat linebackers. Like I say, he's really quick-footed for a big guy. Everybody, 37% says that he is the guy. 38 actually just went up. So looking at that between him and running back Brooks, everybody like those 2 guys real quick. A lot more than Leggett looks like in the chat. So wow. That's all I can say. As a 4th round selection, I think he has justified himself to be, like I said, the easiest offseason addition or the best offseason addition that we have gotten. And like I say, hopefully Bryce can come out here and play some good football. I'm rooting for him to turn this thing around. Like I said, I got no ill will or ill intent. With the way how this team is right now, there's no reason for him not to come out and be successful this year. He better. I'm hoping for him to have that. If you really want to put your hat in the race with CJ Stroud, now is your time, big fella. You got real weapons. You got real deal weapons here on this team. And there ain't no excuse. They were good before they got to you. So I don't want to hear, oh, this person ain't this or this person ain't that. This person ain't producing. I don't want to hear that. I'm excited for a reason because we know the real deal. These guys are the real deal coming in here. Jonathan Brooks ain't no bitch. I'm going to tell you that now. He the real deal. So if you a Panther fan and you watching this right now, you should be excited about what's going on today because we got some legit pieces that's going to be respected and feared amongst the league. I miss the days of us being respected and feared amongst the league. It's been a while. It's been 7 years since we tasted success. It's been a while since we've been in the playoffs. So it's now now is the time for us to get this thing back on the right road. Now is the time for us to try to capitalize on this slump that we're in, this 2-15 slump we just got out of. So, and notice I say got out of. I'm trying to focus on us transitioning into a better place. It starts from today. From today, we should be ascending up. We should be trending up. There is no reason to keep going backwards. So I'm excited. My man said, don't like him more than Leggett. Just think the position was more important. Well, yeah, Steven, that's one thing I can't say. Look, we haven't had a tight end since Greg Olsen and Ian Thomas, Stephon Sullivan, Tommy Trimble. No matter who you put out there, like I said, each one of those guys have a different characteristic to them. but each one of those guys aren't complete. For the first time, we have a complete guy that can block, pass catch, and this guy can command attention. That's once again, when you got a guy that you have to keep an eye on, where defense have to be able to say, okay, where is Jatavion at? That's something that I like to see because they didn't have a fair Tommy Trimble or Ian Thomas. There was no fair. Everybody know Ian Thomas was a blocker. So you don't have to worry about him really coming out and catching too many passes or getting by anybody. So you got a guy that has the speed to pull away from, linebackers now. I love that. So yeah, it's a new day in Carolina. It's been a while since your boy had a smile on his face and talked about Panther football. So hopefully I can keep a smile on my face and talk about Panther football. You know, it's been a long time coming. We done had a long, deep, dark, black year. And it actually, for one time, feels right. The weaponry feels right on this team. Everything is starting to feel right. Now, do I trust Canales? No, sir. I don't. But he's gonna have to show me that he's a good coach. So I'm willing to give him a chance. Cause just like my man Jeremy McKinney say right here, the tape don't lie. Tape don't lie. These guys are out here, they're the real deal for a reason. The tape don't lie on none of these guys. So like I said, once again, I'm excited. To everybody who's in the chat right now, if you're excited about what you see, make sure you like the video. We're gonna be back this week, and we're gonna have a lot of various topics. We're gonna talk about everything offense. We're gonna talk about everything defense. We're gonna really break down this thing position by position. We're gonna look at a lot of the roster because it's time to put it out there. The Carolina Panthers are no longer at the bottom of the basement. It's time for us to start pushing through the door. Now that's not saying that we're gonna actually come out here and start kicking ass every week, but we're gonna be competitive. At least I could wholeheartedly say we can be competitive in some of these games now and not be a laughing stock or a joke. So you know what? It's a good feeling. Now, shout out to once again everybody in the chat. Make sure it's 118 of y'all in here. I need 118 likes on the video. Do us that favor right now. Keep trying to say he hype. You're right, I'm hype. Let's go, beautiful start, great roster. Like I said, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna break down the roster position by position, and we're gonna take that probably and run with it maybe in a week or so. Cause we're gonna do another debate your take. I'm gonna get the panel of the guys together and we're gonna debate the takes of what position got stronger, what strengths of the team got stronger. Um, like we're gonna debate the offensive line. How much stronger was it from this season to the next season? We're gonna talk about a lot of this stuff. You're gonna see various pre-records this year talking about optimism, talking about where Panther fans should be at right now, talking about Canales and his impact on this roster, the vision of Dan Morgan going forward, the vision of what this defense should look like, the vision of, okay, if everything goes right, then what? You know what I'm saying? From here on out, it's going to be now what do we do? Transition words. We shall move forward. I love it, man. So, a breath of fresh air. We just let go the 2-15 season. It's out of the way. No more looking back. We start 0-0 today. So, subscribe to the video, man. It's your boy Dub Q. I'll be back in y'all face again another game.